your bar back with Abdul Aesthetics, man. And I'm out here. I decided to switch it up and come outside to shoot a video in the mental health department because I feel as though I haven't shot one in a long time. I don't know if this happens with a lot of other content creators, but with me, it's like when I get a full head of steam in one particular avenue, I tend to just keep going down that avenue until I get tired of it. And then that takes away from everything else that I'm good at or everything else that I can make content out of. But I really hope you can hear me because it's, I got that waterfall, well, not waterfall, the fountain in the back, and it's kind of windy out here. Today I want to talk about conquering your fears, conquering the things that scare you, because you can't just go into it, if you have anxiety, if you suffer from severe or moderate depression, you can't just go into it saying, okay, I'm gonna conquer the big thing now, hit it head on. Because some people, a very small portion of people who suffer from anxiety and depression can do that, but the vast majority, me included, a lot of people, we've been just so, mentally beat down and battered over the course of some years, maybe decades, that it seems virtually impossible to do that. So my approach is that of making every day its own battle. Because the more battles you win, the more the more your self-confidence increases, the more your well-being increases, the better off you'll be, and the higher your chances will be of getting over depression, getting over anxiety, getting over depersonalization, things like that. And my advice is understand that which scares you. The first step in dealing with a problem is to understand that there is a problem. It's the same thing with addiction. You can't break addiction if you don't think that you have an addiction to anything, because it could just be a way of life to you. But in all actuality, it's actually mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially draining you and those around you. So one of my biggest things was being insecure. I was insecure about a lot of things. I won't say I'm insecure to this day, but there are things that I struggle with, and I know that other people struggle with as well in their own way. For me, for example, I used to be real insecure about the way that I looked, because I always had a bigger lower body, and, throughout my childhood, being teased. Everybody gets teased at some point in their life, being teased about it, being called names and stuff like that. And, a lot of times from people who, you call your friends and your family, it's funny to them, but they don't really understand the beating that they're putting on your mental mind. They don't understand it because it doesn't directly affect them. And as kids, we hold on to everything. Good memories are not the only things that we hold on to. We hold on to the bad ones as well. And over the period of time that I had to go through that, I shied away from the mirror. I didn't like the way that I look. I just hated everything about me. And the bad thing about insecurities is that it's like a fire. It's like a spark, because if you're insecure about one thing, if you don't control that insecurity and if you don't deal with that directly or immediately, it just grows and grows and grows, and then it parlays over into other aspects of life that you may have not been insecure in at that point in time, but because your insecurity has gotten out of control, it starts to play games with your mind, and you get to a point to where everything makes you uncomfortable. Nothing makes you comfortable. It's just so crazy how, one thing could turn you into this overly uncomfortable person. I really hope it doesn't start raining, because it's raining out here right now. Like I said, my approach is to deal with it one day at a time. Whatever your insecurity is, like, for example, let's use the example that I use, like your body image. Do your research and figure out how you can improve the way you look. Diet and exercise is always my go-to. I actually cleaned up my diet a couple months ago, and it's been working out. It's been working wonders for me. I have a lot more energy. My mood is a little bit better, and I just feel overall better because of the things that I eat. I eat a lot more vegetables now, lean meats, chicken breast, chicken thighs. I have a George Foreman, so I get as much fat out of my food as possible. Bad fats out of my food as possible, because healthy fats are, there are such things as healthy fats like egg yolks, olive oil, avocado oil, things like that. Find a workout plan that fits you. If you're insecure about the stage in your life, figure out a way to improve the stage in your life. Like if you're insecure about how much money you make, find a way to get a better job, because most jobs that don't pay you enough stress you out. They demand so much from you and they don't pay you anything in return, basically. And the list goes on. I only use 2 examples, but the list goes on. To sum it all up, And to close this video out, you basically want to figure out what it is that you're insecure about, because insecurity in and of itself is a fear. You fear judgment of being exposed from that which you are insecure about. I need to write that down, because you don't want anybody to know about it. You don't want anybody to know that you're insecure about this thing. And it's a fear. It becomes a fear, and then it turns into a phobia. Understand what the problem is. Take steps, take small steps every day. It doesn't have to be big, but take small steps every day to figure out how you can combat this. Just take it one day at a time. Just take it one day at a time. And over time, you'll realize that what you were insecure about, or what you were afraid of, or what you had a phobia of, it didn't even matter. It wasn't even that big of a deal, because your mind is telling you that you need to worry about this thing, when in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. Because you may feel insecure about a certain thing that someone else has as well, but they're not insecure because it doesn't matter to them. You see what I'm saying? You may be moderate to morbidly overweight and feel terrible about it, but the next person, they weigh just as much as you, they look just like you, and they, basically do the same things you do, but they're happy. It's because that insecurity is not an insecurity to them. It's just a thing, and they deal with it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I really did think it would be a good idea to step outside, to step out of my comfort zone. That's also a good way to deal with your insecurities, stepping out of your comfort zone, but that's a different story for a different time, or a different video rather. But I did like the idea of coming outside. It's about to pour down rain, so I'm gonna go ahead and get back in my car. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Deal with your problems the best way you can. Don't try to do it all at once. Take slow, steady steps, and eventually you will become the person that you know you are. You will become the person that can deal with these things. And by that time, those insecurities and things that you call flaws won't even exist, because your mind state is in a better place. Hope you enjoyed that information. Until next time, deuce.